Hi everybody, welcome back to another ROG Ally video, but in this one what we're going to be showcasing is Red Dead Redemption 2. Here it is. How cool does this look? So you need to remember that when I'm making these videos, at the moment anyway, oh, look at this, look how amazing this is. The device that I'm using isn't the extreme version of the ROG Ally. This is the non-extreme version, which currently, at the time of making this video, isn't available in the UK. You can get the extreme version, which is the more powerful version. So the difference between the two is the processor. So the version I'm playing here is the less powerful one. Everything else is the same. The memory, 512 gigabytes, the RAM, 16 gigabytes, the amazing screen, more of which I will talk about in a bit. But you will get a good idea of this kind of showcase of Red Dead Redemption that I'm kind of showing you now. If I can remember the right buttons. Because what's magical about the ROG Ally, the non-extreme and the extreme version, is the variable refresh rate screen. So although this is an LCD screen, I know the Steam Deck's kind of had a lot of fanfare because of its OLED screen, and I bought one. This screen, I think this is a better screen. But let's take a step backwards a little bit while you can kind of watch the gameplay. So in order to get really nice performance in handheld mode, what I do is that with the non-extreme version of the Z1 ROG Ally, what I do is I change the screen in the settings from 1080p to do I go through there? From 1080p to 720p. Now, you might think, oh, what? That must make it look terrible, but it doesn't. And instead of letting the screen go up to a maximum of 120 hertz, I just limit it to 60 hertz. So that way, the processors inside this non-extreme version have a lot less work to do. And what I found is that means you get really good performance. Well, definitely acceptable performance out of many games. And Red Dead Redemption, this is a graphically very beautiful game, as you can see, very demanding as well. I know it's not the newest game in the world, and it runs really good. But we're going to sort of go through this outdoor bit, and then we're going to go, hopefully we're heading towards a town, so you can get an idea of what it's like in built-up areas. But there's a few things at play here, I think, the reason why this is so good, and why, if you're in America and you've got a Best Buy near you, it's definitely worth going down there and checking out, see if they've got any of these non-extremes. Because if you're in the market for a handheld Windows gaming PC, and that's the important thing to remember, this is a Windows PC really, Windows 11, you can get the non-extreme version of this for, oh hello, we've got to go across here, for $400, I think it is, in Best Buy, which is about £350, which is a bit of a bargain. Because the problem at the moment with the ROG Ally, anyway, in the UK, the full fat version, the extreme version, is like £600, which is significantly more than a Steam Deck OLED with a similar memory at 480. And so that that's a bit of a steep ask. When it's on sale, and it's got £150 off, then the extreme version, becomes, I think, a very viable proposition. But I think this could really be a bargain, and it's a real shame, I think, that when when ASUS released the Ally and they released these two versions, this version, in fact, can I remember how to get off a horse? There we go. This version should have come, I think, with a 720p 60 hertz variable refresh rate screen on it to make it a little bit cheaper, and therefore you would have had the situation where let's see, can I remember how to do this? You have a situation where the Steam Deck would have had a difference in its models with memory. So with the way that Steam Decks work is with the new OLED models anyway, there's a 512 gigabyte. There's 512 gigabytes and there's a terabyte model for the different prices, and they've still got the older LCD version at 256 gigabytes. So the internals, like the processors, are all the same. It's just the screens are different. And there are some other differences to the Steam Deck as well. And I think the way that ASUS should have done it, they could have been much more successful with this version if the difference had been around, look, we do a 1080p 120 frames a second version, and we do a 720p 60 hertz version. And they would have probably sold a lot more of these, especially if they could have got it down to something like, the price of the Steam Deck LCD, so between £300 and £350. So in America, Best Buy, you can always get one of these. I understand that Best Buy has a really nice returns policy, so you can get one, check it out. Let's see if I can remember how to get on the horse. And if you don't like it, take it back, sort of thing. So why is this though? And I think what's happening is that with these handheld gaming PCs, power is incredibly important. And you'll notice that in almost all the videos I do, I'm always using the handheld, not plugged into a power supply, because I think it's cheating to have them plugged into a power supply. Because as soon as you plug them into a power supply, the processor, and this can be a Steam Deck or a ROG Ally, or it could be anything else, as soon as they do that, they can start chugging down an unreasonable amount of power that just can't be used when you're on battery. And so the ROG Ally and the Steam Deck, they call it TDP. And so this is in 15 watt mode. And I think what happens is that when it's in 15 watt mode, the Ally, it's making efficient use of the cores that it has. The non-extreme version it's making efficient use of those. And even if you have the extreme version, what happens is at 15 watts, it can't make the most of those cores. So what you'll probably find is that if you just want a handheld gaming PC, and you can kind of get your head around the fact that a 720p 60 hertz frame really is really almost as good as a 1080p screen. This is actually working really well. However, obviously where the Z1 Extreme would really fly is when you plug it into, say, a 24-inch 1080p monitor, and you plug it into the power, because then what will happen is this will then be able to run an external monitor at much higher resolutions. Because what I found is with the non-extreme version of the Z1 is you don't actually get that much of a jump in performance in terms of frame rate when you plug it in. So when it goes up to 25 watts or whatever it is, or even in boost mode, it gets a bit better, but not that much better, because it only has that restricted number of cores. But for handheld mode, this is very, very good. You'll also notice that I haven't. You'll notice that I haven't got the frames per second on display. I will put them up in a bit, and that's because this magic screen that the ROG Allies have, this variable refresh rate screen, means that even at low frame rates, games look incredibly smooth. And I wish the Steam Deck had this screen. I would rather the Steam Deck had this LCD variable refresh rate screen rather than the OLED screen that it's got. Because the OLED screen is very, very impressive when it comes to sort of brightness and darkness and sharpness in certain situations. But this variable refresh rate screen means that you can have a lower powered device like the ROG Ally Non-Extreme, and games look smooth running at lower frame rates. In fact, I tell you what, let's put the frame rate counter on now to give you an idea. So let's put it on, so you should see that at the top. So if you look in the top right hand corner, we should be able to sort of see what we're getting. So we're getting sort of 40 frames a second, which is nice. It won't be that when we get into a built-up area, or if there was lots of action going on as well. That wouldn't happen. I just thought, can we go into... I don't want to do that. All right, that's what I want. I want to go to first-person mode. Put your gun away, and we get into trouble. Right, that's how you change the view. You have to forgive me, I'm a bit rusty with Red Dead Redemption. There we go. There we go. So let's do a little bit of first-person mode for a while, and we can just enjoy this amazing countryside. Now, you notice there it did get a little bit choppy as we're kind of looking through the trees. So you will get choppiness occasionally, but in general, it's much smoother with a variable refresh rate screen. Now, being a Windows machine as well, problem you have is Windows, and the advantage you have is Windows. So if you got or thinking about getting a Steam Deck, the Steam Deck is a much more console-like experience. From the minute you turn it on, it's like having a console. With the ROG Ally, when you turn it on, it's like having a Windows PC. So that, you know, as soon as you turn it on, you can boot into the desktop, and it does have the Armoury Crate software, which kind of pops up, and you can. It kind of looks like this, so you can like choose your game, and it's a little bit console-like that way. But really is a Windows PC. Now, I personally find that quite exciting. Let's go back to third-person mode. So we're in a bit more of a built-up area now. Because with a Windows PC, and you know, I was watching an interview with Gabe Newell when he was talking about the Steam Deck, actually, the fact that the beauty and the power of the PC system is how open it is, and the beauty and the power of something like the ROG Ally Windows-based PC is the fact that you can install any launch you want on it. So this is running off Steam, but I've got the GOG Galaxy on there. I've got Xbox, so I can put Xbox Game Pass Ultimate games on here, PC ones, and it all works just like your PC. But the disadvantage is obviously you get things like updates happening, you need to do driver updates, it can be glitchy, whereas Steam OS, which runs the Steam Deck, you know, from the get-go has been designed to give you a really nice, smooth experience on your Steam Deck with maximum battery life. You know, the battery life on the Steam Deck is much better than it is on the ROG Ally, and smooth graphics. And although the processors are a little bit less powerful on the Steam Deck, what you find is that the average frame per second sometimes can be a bit lower as well, but the lows are a lot higher, so it means the gameplay can be a lot smoother when you're in game, so you don't get as much hitching and things like that. But I think you'll agree, I mean, what we're getting now, we're getting about 36 frames a second. We're basically on medium and low settings. You know, we turn lots of things down as you'd expect. But at 720p on this small 7-inch display, you know, that is fine. And this is perfectly playable. So there we go. This has been Red Dead Redemption 2 on the ROG Ally non-extreme version. Hopefully it gives you an idea of how powerful this little bargain of a handheld Windows gaming PC is. And may well encourage you to kind of consider one. But again, I would always say watch lots and lots of other videos. Watch other people's opinion. Watch gameplay of video of games that you will think you'll play when you get this sort of device. Okay, so that's enough from me. Hopefully you found this video useful. If you have, hit like. If you want to see more of the same, press subscribe. And I will, of course, see you again soon.